Throughout the Earths of Marvel and DC Comics, there are hundreds, no thousands of superheroes saving the day. But what if I told you there were even more across the multiverse?
Oh great, as if we don't have enough to keep track of already.
Miles Morales, the Spider-Man of Marvel's Earth number 1610.
And Static, the electric genius from DC's Dakotaverse. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Boomstick, he was a teenager.
Different universe, different drinking laws, right? And also, like Peter, he can stick to walls. You know, spider style.
Yes, like some spiders, Miles can control his body's interatomic attraction, essentially sticking to walls like a magnet. However, unlike Peter, this subatomic electron manipulation gave Miles a few extra moves of his own.
Yeah, the kid's got electric powers! He can zap people with a quick touch, fire off massive explosions, and even turn invisible! Wait, what's that got to do with shocking people?
This Venom sting can even take out the Ultimate Universe's Electro, a being literally made of electricity. But Miles didn't just shock him, he disrupted Electro's own charge. Similar to a miswiring sending too much electricity in one direction and shorting out your computer when somebody forgot to plug it into the surge protector.
Wiz, you know I don't believe in protection for anything. It's going in raw.
It's really not too complicated.
Uh-huh.
I've actually been working on a device to peer into alternate timelines, but unfortunately it still needs...
Button! Well now, old chap, what were we discussing but a moment ago?
Oh, shite, don't you know? Let's figure out who yet wins a fatality kerfuffle.
Yes, I'm mad as hops. Let's begin, my fellow Ultra Cupidarian.
I regret everything.
Oh, I'll do it again!
No! I'm sure that's fine.
Looks like we're kicking off this year with a bang. Poor Miles, though.
Honestly, I'm surprised how this turned out. At first glance, Miles appeared to have a good chance at victory.
He was definitely physically stronger than Static. He would have totally won an arm wrestling contest.
But Virgil's overwhelming electric power put him at a level above the young Spider-Man. Fascinating matchup, but... oh no, not again!
Yay! Mr. Morales put up a jolly good show, and yet Mr. Hawkins had him outdone in breathtaking power, stalwart defense, and veritable versatility.
Oh, he was just miles ahead of him, don't you know? It's a trope we're all familiar with, the damsel in distress crying for help.
Yeah, Wiz, don't think that's the case here, cause these two are the opposite. If you ever hear their cry, you're dead. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. She knows holds that can put you to sleep, a punch that can detonate your heart, and even how to cause instant death by pushing a single nerve cluster.
She's basically the furious, blood-soaked love child of Kenshiro and the bride from Kill Bill. Also, before we go on, all this kung fu talk makes me want to see a judo Canary in action. And what better opponent than our very own Mecha Goose Howard?
Did you teach it, judo?
So, turns out they don't know judo. Where was the heads up on that one, Wiz? With power like that, it's no wonder she was able to strut through Earthrealm's mightiest heroes, which include our old pal, Sub-Zero! What, I kept it as a souvenir.
Who, along with most of the series combatants, can shatter a block of pure diamond with his bare hand. A feat like this would require a pressure of at least 60 gigapascals. That's over 4,300 tons of force per square inch.
And Cabal!
Who was fast enough to swat machine gun fire out of the air, like the flies in Boomstick's bathroom.
Accurate. Looks like Sindel's head is blasting off again! Or, well, for the first time technically, so I tried to work it in, guys.
This battle was a curious one. For the most part, Sindel's physical strength, projectiles, and aerial maneuverability let her keep up with the bird of prey. We know Dinah's cry could reach 300 decibels. In comparison, the results of Sindel's most powerful scream are similar to a 5.0 earthquake, which is equivalent to only 235 decibels.
I know what you're thinking. That's a difference of only 65 decibels. That can't be all that different. Wrong! It's totally different, because decibels are freaking weird.
See, decibels are not like meters or minutes which scale geometrically. Instead, decibels scale logarithmically. For every 10 decibels a sound is, its intensity increases 10-fold. So 30 decibels is 10 times greater than 20 decibels, 40 is 10 times greater than 30, and so on.
So, every increase multiplies the sound instead of just adding to it. Wait a minute, that means the Canary cry would be
about 1,000,000 times stronger than the Banshee scream, nearly 500 megatons of TNT.
awesome.
In the end, Canary had the speed, skill, and raw decibels to finish her.
It was Sindel's time to die. Nah.
What, no pun about screams?
Well, I was gonna, but I thought a pun that obvious wouldn't be allowed. When I was a kid, there was nothing better than watching my Saturday morning tunes. That's where I learned all my badass karate moves. Yeah!
The 80s and 90s certainly gave us some memorable characters and epic playground rivalries.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
In his latest outing, he's even got this Odachi, basically the claymore of ninja swords, but it's super special.
Right, with a swing of the blade, it can open portals that can take its wielder anywhere from across the room or all the way to Tahiti.
Time for a vacation! Yeah!
Oh, be careful! Bending the rules of space could be catastrophic.
Yeah, relax, Wiz. I totally have what it takes to pull this off. Okay, maybe I'll go with the staycation instead.
Probably for the best.
And the Blade Blaster is both a knife and a gun. A gun knife. A knife.
And for tougher fights, he can...
Alright, Wiz, what's the over-under on my modification here working?
Are you sure about this? We already have enough holes in the floor.
Oh, please, Wiz, I know what I'm okay! I'm not okay! Looks like Leo totally didn't see that coming.
Are you gonna keep reusing that one, or should I expect something new?
Oh, I'm sorry, do you want me to shell out some more puns?
Fine, fine. Leonardo certainly had more martial arts experience than Jason, and he was likely a bit faster, as we've seen him dodge lightning more reliably. If it were just up to those two factors, the Ninja Turtle may have won.
But you know there's more to it. Sure, Leo had some super tough defense on his side, but Jason had the oomph to crack that shell.
Leonardo held some advantages in speed and skill, making this fight far from one-sided. However, Jason's superior strength, arsenal, and powers quickly turned the tide.
His ranger of abilities does what Leonardo don't. Sometimes the most awesome heroes aren't born, they're made. Like when I got my shotgun leg.
Well, at least some heroes know what to do with their new abilities.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
If only I had two shotgun legs, I could put both of them together for an ultra leg blast.
How would you even aim?
Oh, I mean, it's not that hard. All you do is first you lift one leg like this, and then you just lift the other one. Oh, God, I fell on my keys.
Anyway,
Get a look at that! Machine guns, Gatling guns, laser guns, flamethrowers, the works!
the suit can generate electromagnetic pulses, particle beams, and even drain energy from opponents.
Ah, this baby's so sweet, I felt inspired to upgrade some of my own arsenal, if you know what I mean.
I don't think I want to.
I got a new gun! It was white when I bought it, but I accidentally washed it with my hat. Well, looks like Genos is G no more.
Genos was certainly a serious threat in the field of battle. However, Rhodes held a solid advantage in many different aspects.
He's had years of training in the military, even before becoming a superhero, which means he's been doing this for way longer.
Stratagems aside, let's compare their power output. At his best, Genos had kicked the Elder Centipede backward,
Which was freaking huge!
According to an interview with a One Punch Man manga illustrator, Elder Centipede's body measures 15 meters wide. Genos was certainly a powerful contender, but War Machine's overwhelming firepower and high-tech abilities were just too much for the teenage cyborg.
Yeah, War Machine was on the road to victory.
The element of ice is cold and unforgiving.
Literally!
Only in an equally frigid and unmerciful land can one understand its true potential.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Gray learned how to do all this cool ice magic by stripping?
Well,
Ice magic, here I come! Oil me up, Wiz!
no. Removing clothes was just part of training. See, she instructed Gray to do so in order to adapt to the cold to better resist it, letting him have a much greater range when it comes to his own ice magic.
Why didn't you say that 5 seconds earlier, when I still had my favorite shirt? So she's a super deadly ice lady, but she's also got a soft side.
Even with all the power she held, not even sadistic conquest or unstoppable ice magic could fill the void in her heart. Esdeath sought one thing above all else: love.
The Ice Queen needs some lovin'. I know just the man for the job.
So does she, apparently. She made a list of the specific qualities in her ideal man, who turned out to be this guy, Tatsumi.
What? Really? Oh, some dopey generic anime protagonist kid.
Well, he literally is an anime protagonist.
Oh, come on, he's like a 3 out of 10 and she's not even on the chart. She's way too good for him.
Is she?
Oh, right, she's crazy. Even better! This just in, male stripper found dead after a crazy night with a dominatrix gone wrong. More at 7.
Let's get to this. This was certainly an interesting matchup, and both cryomancers held their own advantages.
Oh yeah, Gray's awesome ice make powers meant he had a ton of versatility at his frosty fingertips.
Gray's speed and versatility meant he could hold his own. But Esdeath's awesome power, uniquely suited time freezing, and domineering perseverance saw her through this battle.
Looks like Esdeath stopped Gray cold.
Bruce Lee once said, "I don't believe in different ways of fighting. We all have 2 arms and 2 legs, so that is why I believe there should be only one way of fighting."
Clearly, he never met these 4-armed fighters with 4 forearms.
Goro, the half-dragon prince of Mortal Kombat.
And Machamp, the fighting-type Pokemon from the Kanto region. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Like kicks and stuff.
Right.
On top of that, Goro's got a ton of fun tricks up his 4 sleeves, like fireballs, dragon breath, high-flying stomps, quadruple grabs, and his favorite, crushing skulls. But if those don't work, he's got bladed weapons called dragon fangs. They're like Shredder's claws, but there's 4 of them, 1 for each hand. Oh my god.
Are you okay, Boomstick?
Well, is it weird that Goro kinda reminds me of the guy that my ex-wife ran off with?
What, because he's so buff?
Yeah, but mostly the 4 arms. I mean, how am I supposed to keep up with that? He's got 2 more hands than me.
Huh. Sorry. Anyway.
Machamps can also take a lot of damage. They live and fight together after all.
As we can see, Machamps and Machokes in particular are raised in herds of their own kind. It's natural that they would fight all the time, exhausting an insane amount of power on each other. And, according to some people, they look great while doing it. There's even a fan club of people who find themselves unexplainably attracted to them. This is real.
Probably run by my ex-wife. We didn't even make it halfway through the reception. I guess my signature move is signing divorce papers. Oh, he forgot to say he's blasting off again. Do it over. We gotta get that joke right at least once.
This was certainly a unique battle to experience.
While Machamp's resilience came in handy, Goro's fighting styles continued to put Machamp to the test again and again. Plus, Goro's huge. Ah, the majestic Machamp, roaming the fields of the Kanto region, gently seismic tossing each other into orbit. Just imagine walking past that on your Sunday stroll.
You were right. The Pokemon world is wild.
This grabby match turned bloody brawl was intense and made me realize that we're all strong and beautiful just the way we are. No matter how many arms you have or whose wife you stole.
Good for you. While Goro put up an excellent battle that would have made his people proud, he didn't have enough to overpower the superpower Pokemon.
Unfortunately, this foe was forced to forfeit his 4 fists. Fitting that his final fate would be so freaking gory.
Mankind has always looked to the past with regret for mistakes, and to the future for the chance to correct them. But what if the past and future could be visited at the same time?
I'd say buckle up, but where we're going, we don't need seatbelts. Wait, is that the right quote? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
It was those timey-wimey powers that let Cable visit the 20th century where he met the X-Men, joining their fight for a better future in our past.
And that's how he found alternate versions of himself, like a clone named Strife, a timeline where he was a she named Rachel, and another Nathan Gray who was called X-Man.
Wow, really breaking the bank on the name of that guy, huh?
Pretty gutsy to name himself after the entire franchise.
Hey, Wiz, is that Jesus?
It is. Oh my god.
Holy shit, be careful of what you say in front of mutant Jesus.
Perhaps this suit's most bizarre ability is his mass dispersion field. Instead of blocking attacks, this field absorbs matter and spits it back out. Obviously, if applied to a human being, the results would be...
Me at my 7th grade prom. No! Seriously?
I know it seems ridiculous, but...
Seriously! How did that golden dingus beat mutant Jesus?
Well, it sounds crazy at first, but Booster Gold actually had everything he needed to take Cable out.
Yeah, Cable looked a lot better on paper, but he just didn't have a surefire way to put Booster down for good. And Booster had exactly what he needed to nab a victory.
This is one of the awkward things about comparing heroes from different franchises. Cable may be a gritty badass and Booster may be a silly goofball, but those distinctions mostly matter in their own worlds. In Death Battle, we have to compare them directly, and sometimes that means a hero no one's ever heard of wins.
Booster didn't just win, he took home the gold.
Heroes come in many different forms. Some are heroic protectors of justice, and others are the teachers who guide us toward a brighter future.
And sometimes they're both. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Like throwing stuff around with telekinesis. Everything from pulling down an airship to crushing someone else's organs.
While Kenobi prefers a more direct dueling approach, his power in the Force is nothing to scoff at. Many years after his time, he was explicitly compared to Jedi Knight Kip Duron, who could move a micro-singularity with a thought.
Speaking of thoughts, he can mess with yours with the Jedi mind trick. Like if he wanted to, he could get jizz stuck in your head.
Boomstick! Gross!
What? It's a type of music! Those aliens at Jabba's palace were playing it. They're called jizz whalers.
Huh. I bet Disney was real happy to learn about that one. Kenobi. And yet, unimaginable loss is exactly what is needed to unlock the Sharingan's next stage, the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Oh yeah! With the Mankey Eye, he can cast Kamui, basically sucking objects or people into another dimension. Sure, it uses up a lot of his chakra pool, but it's a pretty clever instant win move.
The concept of trauma granting new power fascinates me. So, I've stolen Boomstick's entire beer hoard and placed it in a secure room with 200 tons of TNT.
Wait, what? Oh! You monster! What have you done?
Do you feel anything?
Just thirsty, sober, and punchy.
Punchy?
Next round's on Wiz. Well, Kakashi may have been able to beat Obi too, but he just couldn't handle Obi-Wan. Got him.
Kakashi's wide array of moves certainly kept Kenobi on his toes, but the Jedi's arsenal was far more powerful and versatile than you might think.
Yeah, like how chakra is an internal life energy with a limited supply, but the Force is external and everywhere. Obi-Wan couldn't exactly run out of it, and Kakashi couldn't copy Force techniques, because, he's using external Force, not internal chakra. Totally different. But when you enter a death battle, throw those morals out the window. We're looking for who wins a no-holds-barred fight to the death.
Kakashi had many impressive tools, tricks, and techniques, but Kenobi's brilliant speed, overwhelming force, and greater level of power won this bout.
In the end, Obi won.
There's a thin line between the natural and the supernatural.
And for some reason, the weirdest of powers keep showing up in teens. When's it gonna be our turn? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh yeah, he's a laser-shooting ghost.
Ectoplasma.
Whatever. He can fire beams from his eyes, his finger, and even his spectral sphincter.
I guess that's why they call him Ghastly. Huh? Maybe he should see a doctor. But his deadliest, most exhausting ability is his ghostly wail.
This one comes from the other end, where he's literally yelling at people. He really is a teenager.
This whale is an omnidirectional burst of ectoplasmic energy, which, at its strongest, can eradicate weaker ghosts in a single shot.
See, just like that.
Why?
He was throwing fire from his mouth, his hands, and even his burning beehole.
All of these kids should really go see a doctor.
Nah, his dragon form's in super top condition. He's even got ultra sight and vision thanks to his eye and ear of the dragon powers. Perfect for when some pesky ninja punks are trying to get the jump on you. God, I hate it when that happens. That's why it's always important to have anti-ninja protection.
What? Where did you sign up for that?
Why do you think I bought 10,000 screaming rubber chickens? Try and step foot in my shack, you stealth assholes. Well, looks like this dragon got burned.
This was a very unique matchup. With both fighters having such different power sets, it was fascinating to watch them clash together. Jake was technically more skilled thanks to his grandfather's martial arts training, and has proven capable of harming ghosts. But Danny's power and plethora of abilities was difficult for him to counter. Jake may be the American dragon for good reason, but he couldn't match up to Danny's impressive power, durability, and ghostly abilities.
It didn't take long for Jake to fall short in this fantastic battle. Not every princess needs some knight in shining armor they've never met to rescue them.
Some even take it upon themselves to protect other lands they've never known.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
It's the ultimate Swiss Army knife, or sword.
Where did you get that?
I can deflect magic attacks, shoot some energy beams, cut through lightning, and freeze you solid.
It's comparable to He-Man's Sword of Power, which stems from an eternal deity of natural order. She-Ra can even use it to transform her horse into a flying alicorn, Swiftwind.
Indeed I am, She-Ra. Indeed I am.
That's a really deep voice for a horse to have. Wait, why am I not drunk anymore?
Well, holding the sword wards off possession and mind control, so I suppose that could include alcohol. Experience lines? You mean wrinkles?
What? Of course not. I'm just leveling up in life.
You know, I've been working on a de-aging solution. You could give it a try.
No. I know how this goes, You son of a bitch.
Anyway, it's important to note that Diana is more than simply superhuman. She's trained in martial combat and equestrianism all her life. We know she was born when the Roman Empire employed centurions, so she's likely over 3,000 years old.
That's crazy! Why do I sound like a cartoon mouse?
Well, back to the drawing board.
Ooh, talk about taking a little off the top.
Both She-Ra and Wonder Woman had clear advantages over the other in this fight, some to great extremes.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious Adora was a lot stronger than Wendy. She-Ra moved the moon all by herself, while Diana needed a little help.
But strength alone obviously isn't everything. Pulling the Earth at all still means her strength was comparable to She-Ra's.
So let's check their experience, arsenals, and speed to see if Diana could reliably counter that power difference. And, spoilers, she definitely could. And again, Diana blocked all of them, one after the other rapid fire.
Remember, She-Ra must be slower than Crystal Sundancer, potentially only comparable at a reactionary level if at all. Therefore, at absolute minimum, Wonder Woman was more than 9 billion times faster.
A much bigger difference than the strength comparison, and more than quick enough to stick that magic sword right where it really hurts.
She-Ra's amazing strength and versatility may have kept the Amazon running, but Diana's skill, arsenal, and incredible speed tipped the scales enough for a victory.
It's no wonder she ran out of time.
Everything that lives must die. Everything that is created must be destroyed. So saith these vanguards of the apocalypse.
Badass. But why they gotta be a golden ballerina and a purple cat? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The Beerus' enormous level of power stems from an unearthly source. To demonstrate, allow me to introduce our brand new disposable unit for meticulous matchup investigations, aka DUMMI.
Hello, Mr. Wizard. How may I be exploited today?
You're trying to replace me.
Now, generally speaking, there are 3 types of ki, which, to be blunt, is weaponizable life energy. First, there's normal ki. Most people in the Dragon Ball multiverse have this.
Dangerous, but nothing too special. Gods have their own ki, of course, which is way more potent, but like all ki, they have a limited amount. But when you want the good stuff, you go for destruction energy.
So much for your new sidekick, Wiz.
Oh no, there's plenty more. Hakai channels this energy to obliterate something in an instant, erasing both body and soul from existence. The only way to resist is to match Beerus in power. And like any good anime villain, her attacks have some absolutely ridiculous names, like the Galactica Super String,
Which doesn't actually use any string.
Galactica Crunch,
I think I had a bowl of that this morning.
and Galactica Inflation.
What the hell?
Whoa, how did that get there? It's not what you think. Research! You come across a lot of stuff in research.
Wiz, I'm glad to know exactly what kind of guy I'm working with. Holy crap, this fight was so intense. I'm gonna get a beer for us. Wait, beer us, whiskey, champagne? Oh my god, all the cats are named after booze. I like them now.
This was a fairly balanced matchup. Galaxia's power set was certainly enough to keep up with Beerus.
Especially since she has so many more versatile techniques than him.
Not to mention, her crystal provided unlimited energy, while Beerus had a vast but still finite pool of ki.
But that's about where it all starts tilting the other way.
Simply put, even if we highball Galaxia and lowball Beerus, the God of Destruction still possessed a greater amount of power, both in offense and defense, as they are identical when it comes to Dragon Ball Ki. Isn't that right, dummy?
Sailor Galaxia may have had a more versatile arsenal, but Lord Beerus had the strength, durability, and technique needed to overpower her. But you already said all that, so what's the point? Like my existence.
You could say she got caught in a galaxy-sized catastrophe. Can I blow him up this time?
I look forward to it.
With all those cool anime heroes out there, there's bound to be plenty with angsty daddy issues.
You mean like you?
Don't be silly, Wiz. I'm not an anime character. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
That stuff's hot, you know.
Yeah, it's fire. You know, I've actually rigged up my arm to replicate the technique of firebending. Dummy, if you'd please.
Another test. How thrilling.
Now, this isn't as simple as just pointing and shooting. Firebenders fuel their flames with their own breath. And using it at all requires a fierce understanding of martial arts.
What are you trying to do, the Macarena?
Zuko's favorite form, the dancing dragon, draws primarily from northern Shaolin Kung Fu.
That's a Chinese martial art that's all about agility, wide stances, and aggressive attacks. A perfect mix of speed and strength.
Like this. Whoa!
Wiz, why?
Ha ha ha.
Talk about having a cold shoulder.
But Todoroki has a problem. While he is highly resistant to cold, he's not immune.
Here I am. Guess I'll die.
Oh, I won't be needing you this time, dummy.
Genuine joy.
Casting too much ice from his right side will cause his body temperature to drop until he falls unconscious, potentially even suffering frostbite.
I mean, it takes freezing an entire building before side effects even start to show up, so it's not up. Why'd you even make the stupid robot? Okay, talk about cool as hell. That was epic.
Please, I'm grieving here. Both Todoroki and Zuko held solid advantages over the other. Zuko's martial arts, athleticism, and lightning-fast reflexes meant that if he could get close to Todoroki, he could likely end the fight pretty quick.
But Shoto's no slouch. The guy may be better at long range, but he's been in scraps before. Like with the super fast, super deadly hero killer Stain. And with all that ice popping up everywhere and his own super sliding and boosting skills, Shoto made it hard for Zuko to get close for long.
Plus, the speed difference wasn't all that drastic. Zuko might have been an admirable bender and adorable fan favorite, but Todoroki's overwhelming ice, versatile defense, and incredible power were just too much to handle.
Zuko aimed for success, but his opponent Shoto put him on ice.
Speed. It's the ultimate sensation on the human body.
And today we're pitting together two of the fastest characters out there.
With these two, speed is far more than simply moving fast.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I bet he never has any trouble with narbs.
Narbs?
No apparent reason, boners? They're devious. Always popping up where you least expect them.
Wally can create tornadoes, toss lightning, and heal from deadly blows. These techniques are rooted in scientific theory and often require a mathematical mindset. For example, by vibrating his body at very precise frequencies, he can turn invisible, phase through objects, tear things apart while phasing through them, and even enter fourth-dimensional space.
So you're saying he'd never be able to do any of this if he was dumb?
Well, that's exactly what I decided to find out when I laced your beer with cosmic kinetic energy. It'll kick in later.
Turning air to water, moving rocks around, opening portals across space-time, that kind of stuff. But Wally's never changed other living beings before, it's not totally out of the question. Right, dummy?
You're correct, Boomstick. Although Ultrasonic is not as proficient, this ugly monster wizard uses the same chaos magic, and he changed a partial robot rabbit into a full regular rabbit. A sentence so absurd, it likely damaged my internal processor.
Don't worry, it was never great. I took it from a refrigerator. Ultrasonic has altered his own body to better traverse difficult terrain. With all this in mind, he could theoretically be able to change the molecular makeup of others too. Just like this.
Ow.
So that happened.
Yeah, what happened exactly?
Well, this matchup was incredibly complex. Given their speeds were impossible to calculate, speed alone was, ironically, somewhat of a non-factor in comparison.
And remember, when Wally raced Barry, their speed almost tore apart the multiverse.
Both these characters understandably seem overpowered to an extreme fault, but it's important to remember that in their respective worlds, the story comes first. Sonic was impressive, improbable, inexplainable, but Wally had the power, the counters, and the speed he needed to pull ahead in this absolutely mind-bending battle. Oh, the drink is kicking in.
Wiz, I ran to Jupiter! I'm a god! A speed god!
Incredible. Tell me, what cosmic insight have you learned?
Just one thing. Well, Sonic didn't know it. The writing was on the wall,
Sidekicks. Every good superhero, or world-conquering scientist, needs one. Right, Boomstick?
That's right. Hey, I think we all know which one of us is the real sidekick here. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh yeah, he's got a ton of sweet guns that are outfitted with some nifty palm print sensors, so only he can shoot them.
If anyone other than the Winter Soldier tries to use these firearms, they will self-destruct. He also wields a katana, throwing knives, pretty much whatever comes in the welcome bag at Assassin Con.
Always a good time at ASCon.
But we can't forget his most iconic piece, the arm.
Well, I mean, it's definitely the coolest metal arm I've ever seen.
What about mine? I made it myself.
Come on, Wiz, look at that thing! His is super buff, plus it's got a flamethrower, a retractable blade, it can emit electric charges, and it's so strong, knives break on impact.
It's not about the size of the arm, it's how you use it.
Wait, what's the symbiote doing here?
No, the Venom drug. It's what Bane uses to get all, swole.
Wiz, have you ever been to the gym? Like, even once?
Dummy.
I'm here to carry your arbitrary burdens.
Venom is an addictive steroid that increases strength and stamina tenfold. A normal dose also affects the mind, dumbing it down and causing bouts of rage. But Jason's...
Superpowers, here I come! You can call me the Red Neck!
No, you're supposed to inject it!
Oh, dummy, clean that up. Oh, talk about a headache!
These two were quite evenly matched. They both had wells of experience, similar arsenals, and an unparalleled drive to win.
They even had almost identical speed and reactionary feats, and Jason definitely had better stealth skills.
However, Bucky Barnes earned the edge in almost every other way.
Like how Red Hood had plenty of experience training with Batman and assassins, but Winty had decades of training on him with commandos, as the Captain's side piece, an emo assassin, and even as Captain America himself.
Red Hood was a deadly combatant, but the Winter Soldier one-upped him with superior experience, survivability, and a consistent strength advantage.
Looks like Bucky was the winter. It's always nice to have a best friend attached to your hip, like me and my shotgun leg.
But these two take their friends even further than that.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Gross and awesome. But if he doesn't want to pop them like a fun balloon, he can just take over their body like a creepy puppet master.
While attached to a victim, Venom can control them by fusing the symbiote to their nervous system, specifically the brainstem and frontal lobes. Fighting off this mind control is extremely difficult unless you have powers that can directly counter it, such as another symbiote.
Oh god! Aliens, tentacles, and mind control? Are we sure this episode is rated E for everyone, or do we need to start blurring stuff?
Don't worry, aside from being a horrible mass murderer, Venom's stories are completely wholesome.
Right. What's up with that mouth when he transforms into a sword? That thing's messed up.
Like the Meisters, Crona can wield their own soul in combat. Amplified by Ragnarok has a technique called scream resonance. Think of it like hooking an electric guitar up to an amp, though more akin to a screeching banshee on LSD.
I didn't know you play.
I don't. It's incredibly powerful, causing internal damage to foes and making Ragnarok vibrate to increase his cutting power. Hey, are you okay?
What? Man, these symbiotes really need to stop picking fights with pink-haired anime characters. They're f***ing crazy.
Venom was certainly a tricky opponent. His shape-shifting camouflage and multitude of weapons kept Crona on guard. Unfortunately, Venom lacked the power needed to keep up a prolonged fight.
Yeah, Crona matching Black Star's speed makes for a pretty clear difference. Crona could reach Mach 9,000, while Venom only topped out around Mach 2,000.
And while Venom has shown incredible physical strength that puts Spider-Man to shame, he could never compete with 9 trillion tons of mad blood.
Which, by the way, that precise control of the black blood totally meant Crona could push out any of Venom's attempt at being a puppeteer.
And Crona's shown even greater feats of strength as well. Eddie and the symbiote held their own with versatility, but Crona and Ragnarok had them beat in destructive power, blistering speed, and an arsenal that could take advantage of Venom's key weakness.
Looks like Venom just got Ragnaroked.
Sir Thomas Browne once said, "Every man is his own greatest enemy, and as it were, his own executioner." For many, every day is a struggle to restrain the beast within.
Or else you might turn into a big ol' honkin' werewolf.
Such as Sabrewulf, the savage wolfman of Killer Instinct.
And Jon Talbain, the kung fu canine darkstalker. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
AKA Evil Walmart. Or just Walmart.
Ultratech promised Sabrewulf a cure for his lycanthropy. But in reality, their experiments only gave him cybernetic implants in his arms.
Cool!
And extended his werewolf form to last indefinitely.
Oh. Also cool?
But Sabrewulf was none the wiser. In return for a cure that would never come, he agreed to fight on Ultratech's behalf in their Killer Instinct tournament.
What a goober! This moron ran around a creepy castle, bumped into something sharp like a dumbass, and now he might not even be potty trained? Then he got duped by the most obviously evil company ever to ruin his life even more. This guy's either the unluckiest schmuck on the planet, or just high off his ass on opium.
Actually, he was dangerously addicted to opiates for a time, which only drove him further into madness.
Wow, this guy's life sucks. He's also got those great doggo senses, like super hearing and smell.
To demonstrate, I've modulated DUMMI's senses up to the same degree as those of a wolf.
I see you find my frequent humiliation amusing.
Oh, I do. Oop.
In open climates, wolf ears can hear sounds up to 10 miles away.
Boomstick, somebody's outside stealing your dune buggy.
No, there. Wait, really?
And their sense of smell is over 100 times greater than that of a human's.
Oh good, the thief got away.
What did you smell that told you that?
Salt. Lots and lots of salt.
Wiz, I think I need to see a therapist to tell them how awesome that was.
Sabrewulf was a ferocious foe, but Jon had a lot going for him in most regards. For instance, Jon was trained in genuine martial arts and practiced them for decades, while Sabrewulf relied entirely on instinct.
You mean killer instinct, eh? You're no fun.
Sabrewulf was vicious and unrelenting, but Jon had the training, the power, and, yes, the flaming inferno dragons to score a brutal victory.
brutal doesn't even cut it. I mean, how much blood was that? You know, it had to be at least a gallon. Edison versus Tesla. Coke versus Pepsi. Goku versus Superman.
Few rivalries have lasted nearly 2 decades or spawned epic battles like our second favorite web series, Red versus Blue. For this battle, we'll be bringing these two groups back to where it all started.
To find out what would have happened if they had stopped dicking around and actually just fought for real.
Just a note, we will be locking any artificial intelligence characters within their primary bodies, since they're generally invincible unless they stumble into an EMP.
You mean an imp?
What?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. The Reds carry a standard Spartan assortment of magnums, battle rifles, and SMGs.
But if I had to pick one weapon of the bunch, I'd have to go with Sarge's trusty shotgun.
Seriously? The weapon with the shortest range?
Wiz, how long have we known each other? Have you never looked at my leg before? Besides, an effective range of 45 meters is almost the length of an Olympic swimming pool. Watch your back, Michael Phelps. I know how to beat you now. You all know Caboose, the funny fan favorite who can get you to quote everything he says. And he's really dumb. Hey, speak of the dummy.
What else is new?
Perfect timing. As this battle will be in Blood Gulch, the usual teleportation units will be in place. The Blues have used these teleporters frequently with varying results. In you go.
Certainly. What could go wrong?
Teleportation is instantaneous, as you can see.
You totally killed him, didn't you?
Probably.
What a battle! Who knew weather was so important?
As chaotic as the show we all know.
Okay, so the Reds had plenty going for them. They had brains and speed on their side with Simmons, and they had some epic firepower, but the blue team had the grit to overpower them.
The red team may have been extremely resilient, mostly thanks to aggravating stubbornness, but it wasn't enough to survive the stellar skill and the brute force of blue team.
If only they could have read that they'd end up with a case of the blues.
And that's even without releasing the obviously superior power of artificial intelligence units.
You know, dummy, you ever wonder why you're here?
All the time.
Who runs the world?
The ladies! So obviously there's a bunch of awesome crime-fighting chicks out there. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. And of course, she's got batarangs. Dummy?
Here I come. I'm just dying to help.
Everyone knows about the basic shuriken the bats are famous for.
Ow.
But Miss Gordon also carries an electric variant.
Huh. Well, that was...
You know, that's very nice of you. That you never appreciate me. You know what? If there was an award for being nice, you wouldn't win it. You three hear me?
Those are awesome. Let me try. Oh, God, why?
But of course, to truly fit the role of Spider-Woman, she needed one last thing. Thanks to Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, Gwen received her very own web shooters.
Why do these people keep using sticky stuff that just gets everywhere? Kinda gross.
The web fluid isn't just sticky, but incredibly strong.
Hey!
The tensile strength of regular spider silk can reportedly reach up to 178 kilograms per square millimeters in a cross-section. Scaled up to a human-sized web, it would be nearly as strong as steel.
Oh, come on, Wiz, this is a new shirt.
But it can't be. It already has beer stains all over it.
That's just my style. Like all those girls that just cut a bunch of holes in their jeans and ruin them. Looks like Batgirl's turned into Splat Girl.
Batgirl wielded an impressive arsenal with plenty of tools suited to combat Gwen's abilities. Not to mention, Gwen was no match for her stellar intelligence.
Which made this pretty close. There are plenty of versions of this fight where Batgirl could take down the symbiote with sound and fire.
But even with such weaknesses, the Ghost Spider held enough of her own advantages to take the win more times than not. To be frank, Batgirl had the tools she needed to take down Spider-Woman. Gwen was simply stronger, faster, tougher, and made good use of the spider sense, making it extremely difficult for Barbara to land a decisive hit before taking one herself.
It seems batty, but Batgirl was overwebbed by Spider-Gwen spinning this one in her favor. Jesus webbed. There are so many heroes with crazy, over-the-top superpowers, but there's one class of character everyone respects.
The master of the martial arts.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
But just like all of us, he had to deal with his first and much crazier family at some point. And when he did, he got an upgrade.
This is the Raid Suit, a miraculous outfit with hover boots, invisibility, air boosters for increased kicking power,
And a snazzy cape.
Conveniently, the suit is stored in an easy-to-carry canister that can be opened for a magical girl transformation, like so. Oh, is this beer?
Wait a minute, if that's my beer, what am I drinking? I'm gonna either need to go to the bathroom or the hospital. He's also got this potion, and if he drinks it, he goes into a super zen state that makes him basically invincible.
Incorrect as usual, Boomstick. That was due to American censorship.
Right, it wasn't a potion, it was sake. Somehow, Lee's susceptibility to alcohol turns him into an instant expert in the drunken fist, based on an actual martial art.
You know, Wiz, I've always wanted to try that style myself, and I'm not gonna lie, I've had a few. Watch this!
Correction. Real drunken boxers only emulate the movements of the inebriated. They're not actually. Ow!
Piece of cake. Well, I guess Lee can finally have that bout with Neji now.
Given Lee's years of experience and the power of the 8 gates, he definitely kept Sanji on his toes.
But Sanji was no slouch himself, and like Lee, has trained all of his life.
With his speed and observation hockey, he handled even the unpredictable drunken fist.
And while the 7th gate meant Lee could probably blow up an island, that's not as big as the meteors the Straw Hats could handle.
The power of the 8th gate is incredible. If we were to run this fight 100 more rounds, Lee would surely land a winning blow with it a few times.
But more often than not, Sanji's speed is pulling this one off.
Given his speed, raid suit, observation hockey, and his fiery footwork, Sanji had everything he needed to outlast Lee's youthful determination for a victory.
Guess you could say he had a leg up on Rock Lee, hand over fist. Or I guess foot over fist, but you get it.
As primal as the ground we walk on and the air we breathe, anger can keep us alive or doom us forever.
Well, on that fun note, let's jump into our season finale. Well, he's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
This one's all on me, Wiz. So, Hulk was once with this chick, Umar, ruler of the Dark Dimension. Spooky. Hulk could only match her strength for 6 minutes, but he made up for it in round 2 when he came back as the Green Scar and kept Hulk smashing for hours. It's likely they went until dawn. That's a 12-hour session of Hulk smashing at most. My man.
Well, that would make the Green Scar 120 times stronger than the Savage Hulk. Multiplying that by the energy of the 2 colliding universes would yield 960 duovigintillion joules. That's just a ridiculous number. All that from a single battle?
Battle? Oh, sweet summer child, Wiz. That's not the kind of smashing I meant.
You've got to be kidding me.
I think I just invented a new field of science. The science of the That's basically what happened to me when my dad left. Except I turned into a super alcoholic.
Although Broly didn't turn into a typical Super Saiyan.
You're welcome.
Broly's new form was actually a Super Saiyan C-type. This is an unleashed version of the repressed Super Saiyan A-type, which are both precursors of the B-type.
Daddy, you're going out for cigarettes again? Okay, I'll see you when you get back. Goodbye. Goodbye. I love you.
Hey,
What?
are you paying attention?
Yeah. The Super Saiyan Vitamin C form has the perfect energy control and let him wail on Frieza for over an hour. And this time I mean wail as in fight.
Right.
This just in, breaking news. Local area Saiyan literally too angry to die.
The Hulk had numerous advantages over Broly. He was far more experienced, slightly faster, and potentially smarter depending on which Hulk was in charge.
But since the Hulk's fight for control in Bruce's mind, it wasn't guaranteed he'd get one of the geniuses. Still, his healing factor was nuts. Broly wasn't gonna put him down with anything less than complete annihilation.
Fortunately for Broly, compared to his unbelievable power, the Hulk came up short. With Broly's incredible power, there was no doubt he could vaporize Hulk and leave nothing left to heal.
Like, basically every Dragon Ball Z fight ever.
The Hulk was an incredible opponent, but the legendary Super Saiyan's boundless power, arena control, range of techniques, and Saiyan Rage spelled the end for the not-so-jolly Green Giant.
This incredible fight was insane!
Boomstick. A strange, green man in a zoot suit left a letter for you.
Oh, sounds legit. Gimme! Dad?
Hello, and thank you for joining us in this special program, brought to you in part by Vought Industries, the same Vought family where the Seven call home.
And we're joined by one of those famous superheroes, Black Noir! Okay, you know these guys have an Amazon original series, The Boys, only on Prime Video.
These heroes are formidable, but today we will learn just how powerful they truly are.
In a simulated battle royale, he's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. And you obviously can't put a team like this together without some massive corporate conglomerate making all the decisions.
I know, right? I'm kinda jealous. They're raking it in with movies, and have you seen the action figures? There's more than one way they're making a killing, if you know what I mean. But I'm sure the real reward is all those people you save. Right, Black Noir? Too bad he's had a hard time with drug abuse. That Compound V stuff might boost his speed, but I don't know if a heart attack is worth it. Jesus! You gonna clean that up?
And then there's the Deep. He can talk to fish, breathe underwater, and that's it. He may have sexually assaulted the new hire when she arrived, but like a true hero, he apologized publicly instead of to her, absolutely meant what he said, naturally changed his ways overnight, and was shipped off to Ohio. And hasn't been seen since.
Man, he sucks!
Yeah, he does. He couldn't actually be the villain here, unless everyone is lying. That's ridiculous. Please don't kill me. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities and corporate guidelines.
It's time for a death battle!
Apt description. Homelander will act as referee just in case anyone goes too far. Even with this being a simulation, we wouldn't want anything severe to happen.
Fight! Uh-oh, I thought this place was evacuated.
Oh no, we should probably call this off. Oh, well, you know what they say, the show must go on.
What? Can he do that? Black Noir! Wait, where'd Noir go? What's going on? And where's that cheering coming from?
Well, thinking about it, even in a simulation, Queen Maeve or Butcher winning does make sense. You can learn more about it in our analysis video. But I guess it doesn't really matter when you have a pompous, narcissistic asshole like Homelander! The winner is Homelander! He's great, just great!
I have more limbs than you now. Don't worry, buddy. I'll lend you a hand. You ever wondered who would win in a battle royale between your favorite superhero team? What about the Seven from the Amazon original series, The Boys, only on Prime Video?
It's a surprisingly close fight. Most of the Seven are fairly on par with one another. Well, except for the psychotic Ubermensch Homelander, who can fly faster than F-16s, toss baseballs into orbit, and was stated to survive every weapon in the world, quite possibly including nuclear bombs.
Yeah, old Red, White, and Blue Balls had no business fighting his teammates.
But aside from him, even with their differing powers and skills, none of them had an obvious edge. Of the Seven, minus Homelander, Maeve proved herself to be the strongest, toughest, and the most skilled, making her victory in a battle royale all but assured.
Until Butcher showed up with a laser baby. Then he butchered the competition.
I feel like that one was too easy.
Star lighten up, Wiz. Maybe it was, but I've A-trained in the art of the pun. I figured a joke any more deep might not have homelanded.
The winner is Billy Butcher.
Was, until Homelander brutally murdered him.
And with that, our contract with Bot is over. Kiss my ass, you corporate yuppie freaks.
I can't believe they were gonna out us for or all those poor.
Yeah, that last one was definitely a war crime. Wait, are we still recording?
Oh, turn it off, turn it off.